5 cold cases that had big breaks in 2018. A year etched in the annals of true crime, not for new horrors, but for the ghosts of the past finally finding their rest. It was a year of reckoning where decades-old mysteries began to unravel. Progress in forensic science and investigative techniques brought a renewed sense of hope to families who had long endured the agonizing uncertainty of unsolved murders. Justice, it seemed, was finally within reach. The rise of consumer DNA websites played a pivotal role, acting as unexpected allies in the pursuit of truth. These digital databases led to the arrests of suspects who had evaded capture for decades. And then there were the confessions, chilling admissions from a serial killer already behind bars, claiming responsibility for dozens of additional murders. The darkness was lifting, revealing the monsters hidden within. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. In July, John D. Miller was arrested, accused of the heinous rape, murder, and abduction of 8-year-old April Tinsley, a name that had haunted Fort Wayne, Indiana, for 30 years. April vanished on a seemingly ordinary day in 1988 while walking to a friend's house, the innocence of childhood brutally stolen. Decades later, DNA evidence extracted from Tinsley's underwear provided the crucial link. It matched DNA found on condoms linked to Miller, a chilling echo of his depravity. Miller eventually confessed to the unspeakable crimes, admitting his guilt in the abduction, rape, and murder of April Tinsley, a confession that brought a measure of closure, however painful. Tinsley's body was discovered in a ditch, a desolate location about 20 miles from her home, a stark reminder of the brutality she endured. Adding to the horror, threatening notes had been found near the location where Tinsley's body was discovered, taunting messages from a killer who reveled in his anonymity. Similar notes and condoms were discovered near other young girls in 2004, suggesting a pattern of predatory behavior, a chilling glimpse into the mind of a monster. Detective Brian Martin, determined to solve the case, contracted Parabon Nanolabs to analyze the DNA samples, a desperate gamble that would ultimately pay off. Parabon Nanolabs, using advanced DNA phenotyping, identified Miller as a potential suspect, a breakthrough that breathed new life into the cold case. C.C. Moore, a pioneer in genetic genealogy, led the team that painstakingly pieced together Miller's family tree, a digital detective, tracing the threads of DNA to find a killer. The trial for Miller was scheduled for February 2019, a moment of reckoning for a community that had waited decades for justice. The wheels of justice, grinding slowly but surely. Parabon Nanolabs, through their innovative use of DNA technology, provided a measure of closure to Tinsley's grieving family, a testament to the power of science in the pursuit of truth. April 2018 witnessed the arrest of Joseph James DeAngelo, a name that sent shivers down the spines of Californians. The Golden State Killer finally unmasked. He was charged with a litany of horrific crimes, including multiple murders and rapes committed across California between 1975 and 1986, a reign of terror that spanned over a decade. The revelation that DeAngelo was a retired police officer added another layer of chilling irony to the case. The man who swore to protect and serve was the very monster they had been hunting. Authorities charged him with 13 counts of murder, as well as numerous other crimes, including rape and robbery, across 6 counties. The scope of his depravity was staggering. It was Michelle McNamara, a true crime writer, who gave the criminal his infamous Golden State Killer nickname, a moniker that captured the public's imagination and fueled the hunt. Authorities employed a novel approach, using data from a genealogy website to pinpoint DeAngelo, a groundbreaking technique that revolutionized cold case investigations. DNA from the crime scenes matched a relative's genetic material on the website, providing a crucial link to DeAngelo, the digital breadcrumbs that led to his capture. A discarded sample of DeAngelo's DNA, surreptitiously collected, provided the definitive match to the crime scene DNA. The final piece of the puzzle, locking him to his crimes. Kenneth Maines, a seasoned cold case investigator, noted the significance of DeAngelo's former profession as a police officer, a chilling reminder that evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. Sacramento District Attorney Anne Marie Schubert had dedicated herself to the case since 2001, tirelessly pursuing justice for the victims and their families, a relentless pursuit that finally bore fruit. In a shocking turn of events, Brian Hawkins confessed to his involvement in the 1993 murder of Frank McAllister, a confession that came out of the blue years after the crime. Hawkins made his confession at a TV news station in Redding, California, a dramatic and unexpected admission of guilt, a desperate attempt to unburden his conscience. McAllister was only 19 years old when he disappeared, a young life cut short by violence and betrayal. His disappearance haunted his family and the community for years. McAllister's remains were discovered a year later in Shingletown, California, a grim confirmation of their worst fears. The search was over, but the pain remained. Hawkins implicated Curtis and Shanna Culver in the crime, alleging that they were also involved in McAllister's murder. A web of deceit and violence began to unravel. All three individuals were ordered to stand trial for McAllister's murder, facing the consequences of their actions, justice finally catching up with them. The murder allegedly took place during a thwarted drug purchase, a tragic consequence of the dark underbelly of society, a deal gone wrong with deadly consequences. Hawkins and Curtis Culver reportedly stabbed McAllister to death, a brutal and senseless act of violence, a moment of rage that changed their lives forever. Hawkins reportedly found God and wanted to confess his sins, seeking redemption for his past actions, a spiritual awakening that led him to seek justice for McAllister. Detective Kenneth Maines commented on the rarity of such confessions, highlighting the unusual circumstances of the case, a testament to the power of conscience and the desire for redemption. Gary Hartman was arrested for the rape and murder of 12-year-old Michelle Welch, a crime that had remained unsolved for over 3 decades. A name finally attached to a horrific act. Welch was a young girl full of life and promise when she was brutally murdered in 1986. Her death left a gaping hole in her family and the community. A genealogist used DNA from the crime scene to meticulously build a family tree, tracing the genetic lineage to identify potential suspects. A painstaking process that ultimately led to Hartman. Police were able to match Hartman's DNA to the crime scene DNA, providing the irrefutable evidence needed to make an arrest. The science spoke, loud and clear. Hartman's DNA was obtained from a napkin he used at a restaurant, a seemingly insignificant object that held the key to solving the case. The smallest details can often be the most crucial. Welch disappeared from Puget Park in March 1986, a place of innocence transformed into a scene of unimaginable horror. The park became a symbol of the community's loss. Welch's body was found later that night, bearing the marks of blunt force trauma to the head, a brutal and senseless act of violence that shocked the community. The case went cold for decades, a source of frustration and despair for investigators and Welch's family. The hope for justice seemed to fade with each passing year. DNA sites are increasingly being used by detectives and genealogists to solve cold cases, revolutionizing the way these investigations are conducted, a new era of forensic science. Hartman's attorney maintained his client's innocence, setting the stage for a legal battle that would determine his fate. The fight for justice was far from over. Samuel Little, a serial killer already serving a life sentence for multiple murders, confessed to an astonishing 90 additional murders committed between 1970 and 2005, a chilling revelation of unimaginable depravity. DNA evidence connected Little to another unsolved murder in Odessa, Texas, further solidifying his reputation as one of the most prolific serial killers in history. The net was closing in on his dark past. Investigators conducted extensive interviews with Little in prison, seeking to unravel the full extent of his crimes. A chilling dance with a monster, trying to understand the darkness within. Little developed a rapport with Texas Ranger James Hollander, a key factor in eliciting his confessions. Trust, even in the most unlikely of circumstances, can be a powerful tool. Investigators have connected 34 unsolved murders to Little's confessions, bringing closure to families who had long given up hope. The power of confession to heal old wounds. If Little is definitively tied to more than 48 murders, he will surpass Gary Ridgway as the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history. A grim title, a testament to the depths of human depravity. These breakthroughs in 2018 serve as a powerful reminder that even the coldest cases can be solved. The pursuit of justice never truly ends. Do you want to delve deeper into the chilling world of true crime? Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth case studies, forensic analysis, and exclusive interviews. Share this video with your friends and family to spread awareness and help keep these stories alive. And if you have any information about unsolved cases, please contact your local authorities. Your tip could be the key to bringing closure to a grieving family.